Hi class, this is my facts and research presentation. I went ahead and just put it in a PowerPoint because it was easier for me to do that way. And we are speaking of the case that we saw in the Mark of the Beast video, Mr. Hyatt, and I will be addressing points 34 through 37 and how they apply to Georgia federal and or state law. Number 34, sorry, I cut off the number on accident, states that plaintiff had a sincere bona fide religious belief that wearing the number 666 could condemn him to hell. So for my first search, I did the religio with the exclamation within 3 words of discriminate with the exclamation, which will give me any form of the 2 words, religion, religious, discrimination, things like that. And then I put prima facie in quotations because I wanted to find that exact phrase. And then I put my ampersand and Title 7 in quotations in the same sentence as proof because I was trying to find what proof is needed for a religious discrimination case in Georgia federal law. And as you can see at the top, I have state and federal marked. That way I have cases come from both. And when I search that, I have 45 cases come up. And the first case is Durham versus Bleckley County School System. And I went ahead and posted the citation over to the right. And in this case, it's the burden of proof in a Title VII case is upon the plaintiff to establish a prima facie case of discrimination. And it states that he holds a bona fide religious belief and communicated this belief to the defendant, which would be the company he worked for. So that actually goes ahead and takes care of number 34, which states sincere bona fide religious belief. And number 36 is stated he communicated it to his defendant employer. So that left me with number 35 and number 37 left unanswered at this point. So I changed the word proof to the word accommodation and trying to see what type of accommodations legally an employer has to make for their employees. And this brought me to a case in United States District Court in Georgia, Wilson versus Allstate Insurance Company. And this one actually was a better definition explaining religious discrimination and what is needed to show that it has taken place. Since I had already done all the other work, I went ahead and added that, but this one pretty much covers all of the bases, and it states a plaintiff establishes a prima facie cause of religious discrimination resulting from an employer's failure to make reasonable accommodation by showing that he has a bona fide belief that compliance with a work requirement is contrary to his religious faith, which this case does fall under, and he informed his employer about the conflict, which we previously stated, and he is discharged or disciplined for refusing to comply with the requirement. And that covers 35 and 37 because 35 states his employer attempted to require him to wear the number 666, and his employer could have reasonably accommodated him by excusing him from wearing a safety sticker without any detrimental effect. So now that I have those covered under the federal law, I went ahead and wanted to search under the Georgia state law to see if there was anything that could hold up in court from any state related cases. So I took Title VII out because I'm not searching for federal cases, and you can see at the top right that I just have Georgia state cases. Federal is no longer marked. So I left religio exclamation within 3 words of discriminant exclamation with prima facie and proof in quotations, and that brought me 0 cases. So the second one I did was religious discrimination in quotation marks in the same sentence as elements in quotation marks, and that also brought me 0 cases. So the third search I did was discrimination in the same paragraph as elements, and that also brought me 0 cases. So I was actually unable to find any cases relating to Georgia state law that had to do with the religious discrimination. So I did religious discrimination in quotations in the same paragraph as claim against to see if maybe the wording was different. And that brought me to City of Atlanta versus McKinney, which is a Supreme Court of Georgia case. And in this case, it states Georgia law recognizes and protects certain classifications of people from discrimination. And according to the Georgia Constitution, Section 1, Part 4, religious discrimination is in reference to someone that is holding public office or trust. And it did not state anything about an individual such as the employee that we're speaking of. So I do not believe that his attorneys could have filed this under any type of state law because his job was not in public office or trust. So therefore it had to be filed under Title VII as a federal offense. And I hope you enjoy my presentation. Thank you.